Are you ready to take control of your life and shape your reality? Then join me on this journey as we delve into the powerful principle of cause and effect from the teachings of the Kybalion. You'll discover how your thoughts and actions have a ripple effect on your life and learn how to harness this law to create the abundance, success, joy, and happiness you desire and deserve. Welcome to the Gifted Goddess podcast. It's your host, Idol, and here we explore how to rearrange your life the way you want it. So imagine you're able to control the events in your life simply by understanding the principle of cause and effect. Well, that's exactly what the ancient text, the Kybalion, teaches us. And today we'll be diving into this fascinating principle and seeing how it can be applied to create a positive impact in our lives. The principle of cause and effect is one of the 7 principles outlined in the Kybalion. Simply put, it states that for every effect, there's a cause. This means that everything that happens in our lives is a result of a prior cause, whether it be our thoughts, beliefs, or actions. Let's take an example of a successful career. Many people believe that success is simply a result of good luck or talent. However, this principle of cause and effect tells us that success is actually the result of a series of causes such as hard work, dedication, and persistence. Think of a basketball player. A basketball player is not naturally talented, or he might just naturally have a talent. Let's say he naturally has a talent. But he's still putting in the hours week in, week out in those training sessions. He's still training, he's still showing up to practice, and that is what will guarantee him to make those shots on game day. But if that basketball player does not show up for practice, doesn't put in the work, on game day, he's not going to be able to take those shots. So you have to put in the work. Another example of this principle of cause and effect in action is physical fitness. If you want to maintain a healthy body, it's not enough to simply wish for it. You need to take action such as eating well, exercising, de-stressing, and also you need to be able to put in that effect frequently, meaning you're putting in actions frequently. Like you wouldn't go to the gym for a 7-hour weight training session and then say, oh my gosh, I've done my quota for the month. No, it's better actually going into increments like 45-minute sessions, let's say 4 days a week, rather than one bulk session and then you're like, yeah, I'm done. It's not going to do anything good for your body. One of the key lessons that we can learn from the principle of cause and effect is taking responsibility of our lives. By understanding that everything that happens to us is the result of a prior cause, we can take control of our lives and create the effect we desire. Because essentially, most of us, we don't see it as actually we're in control of our lives. Most people just see it as, oh, that person did this or that person did that, or it is because this is like this, or it's because that is like that, when in fact, we are responsible on how we perceive even our lives. So we can make that change. Perfect example would be if you're unhappy in your current job, it is easy to blame your boss or your co-workers or your colleagues and be like, oh yeah, I'm dissatisfied because of them. I'm unhappy because of them. But looking at the principle of cause and effect, it teaches us that the cause of our unhappiness is actually within our own control. And by taking responsibility for our thoughts and actions, we can create a new effect. We can create an environment that we'd like, whether it's changing into a new job or changing our perspective in the current position we're in. It's all on perspectives, because the world will treat you how do you treat yourself. So if you're coming up or you're showing up at work like, I'm the victim, is everything's happening to me. So you'll be the victim, everything will be dumped on you. But if you show up at work like, actually, I'm choosing to be here because I know this gives me freedom of X, Y, and Z. And actually, I do like my space that I have at work. And I do feel that I have this certain freedom, and this will be then added onto you. If you're enjoying today's podcast, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell That way you can bless somebody else's timeline with this video. Similarly, if you're facing financial difficulties, it's tempting to blame external factors such as economy, employer, surroundings, but looking at the principle of cause and effect, it tells us that our financial situation is within our control, such as our spending habits, our effort to increase our income, and also taking responsibility for our financial situation. So this is where we have the opportunity to create a new effect and improve financial stability. And I know this well, like especially with women, I don't know, like women are not really great at looking at their finances. Just this is generally speaking. And I remember when I used to like spend like that, it would just be spending. It's like, okay, I don't know, 1,500 has to come out for this, and the rest that you have, you kind of just tap away or spend away. But for me, what changed or helped me was when I started budgeting everything. And I know most people don't like the word budgeting, but budgeting can be a very enjoyable thing, especially when you know you're giving yourself basically an allowance. That's what's happening. So you calculate all your bills. And for me, what I would do is like, okay, this amount is for me going out. This amount is, let's say, for my grocery. This amount a month is for me to spend on new skincare. This amount is for me to spend on my wardrobe or clothes. This amount is, so it is a fun activity. And then at the end of the month, you might find that actually I didn't spend any money on skincare. So I'll take the money from the skincare and add it to something else. And then I'll buy myself something, or I'll take the money from skincare and put it into savings, or put it into the travel pot, or put it into, so it becomes a nice, fun activity. So budgeting is definitely a plus. So that's it for today's episode of the Gifted Goddess podcast. I hope you enjoyed learning about the principle of cause and effect and how it can be applied to create a positive change in your life. If you found today's episode helpful, do share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. With that being said, love and light, my loves. Ciao.